Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. Today is June the 20th. We're recording the meeting live, City Madison YouTube channel for viewing now and later. Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Of course. Mayor Courtney,
Here.
Mr. Carlo,
Here.
and Mr. Eaglin.
Here. Board, have you had an opportunity to review the minutes from June the 5th? If so, we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that the minutes for the June 5th, 2023 meeting be approved as submitted.
Board Member Eaglin was absent. I'll second that. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Moving on to claims.
Mayor, I had an
Got it
opportunity to
right this
review the claims. I'll make a motion that the claims be approved as submitted.
I'll second David's motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And moving on, Joe, we'll have the first resolution for Riverfront Poker Run. I think JD and Josh, JD's here. Good morning. And you hit that button on there, that'll put your mic on, and we'll turn it over to Joe. Joe, hit your mic, please, if you don't mind. Thank you. Thank you.
Resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana regarding a street closing for the Riverfront Development Corporation. Whereas there's been a request filed by John Coonsey on behalf of the Madison Riverfront Development Corporation for a street closing in connection with its golf cart ATV poker run to be held on Saturday, October 7th, 2023. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, that Vaughn Drive between West Street and Broadway Street shall be closed on Saturday, October 7th, 2023 from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. At all times, the participants will abide by traffic regulations regarding golf carts, ATVs outside the event footprint. Be it further resolved by the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, that said street as closed shall be in the supervision and control of the Madison Riverfront Development Corporation at the times noted above for the year 2023.
Good morning, JD, and
Good
congratulations on a really successful Weinstein Barrel event last weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And I think you just summed up everything, Joe, on our request for October 7th. Any questions I can answer today?
Well, I saw over the weekend you had, I thought it was a real good idea, you had signs posted to have parking there for the Lighthouse Restaurant.
Yes, that actually.
Are you going to do that again?
We are.
Those folks? Yeah.
Our wonderful lady that used to work down there for years and years gave us some constructive criticism one afternoon, and if you know who I'm speaking about, the constructive criticism was a chewing out session. But yes, we made those signs at our own cost to make for sure that parking and could be reserved for folks coming on down to her facility. So we do that for both events. Yep.
Good. Very professional.
Thank you.
Good. Appreciate that.
Look good, and it's great that this is a great event as well, the unique event. Board Member Carlo, any questions?
No.
Same as last year, I believe.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 28B-2023.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you for your
Thank you
support.
very much.
Appreciate it.
See you.
So the signs are about this size.
Yeah, we're good. Moving on to new business, Brian and Rob, we have water project SRF disbursement requests.
Yep, I'm just gonna go through the SRF disbursement requests 24 through 27. You should have a summation there in front of you. I'll go through each one of them and then we can approve them all at once, right, Joe? All right, the first one is request 24 for Commonwealth Engineers. It's 3 invoices. The first invoice is for the RPR stuff, and it's $31,736.75. The second invoice is for $440.03 for the American Iron and Steel compliance. And the third invoice is $11,644.77 for construction fees. The total amount of the invoices is $43,821.55. We will request an amount payable to Commonwealth for $43,822. The next one is for Dave O'Mara Contracting, work at the treatment plants. The total amount of the invoice is $33,988. Of this, the retainage amount is $1,699, so we will make a request for Dave O'Meara for $32,289. And that was request 25. Request 26 for NW Cole Construction, the company working on the water storage tanks. The total amount of their invoice was $111,200. The retainage amount was $5,560. And we will make a request for $105,640. And finally, the request 27 for Brackney Incorporated for the water main replacements. Their total amount of their invoice was $233,553. The retainage amount will be $11,677, which will make their disbursement amount for request 27 at $221,876. And that was for Division C. O'Meara's Division A, MW Cole's Division B, and Brackney's Division C.
Ron, you want to give an update, just where we are on the project overall, and particularly, the different divisions, because, I mean, a lot of work is happening in Division C right now.
Right, well,
which is
Division
really
A,
noticeable.
they're still moving equipment on site, and they're starting to mobilize for the West End Booster Station, but they really won't start in a lot until to beginning of July is what we're hoping on. We have a meeting next week, and our last construction meeting, Division A is going to start, they're trying to start in July. Division B, they started welding and some surface prep work on the south elevated tank, and they're currently working on the south elevated tank after we drained it last week. We had some issues at the hilltop ground storage tank east. We had some issues in the roof repair, and we're still waiting on an estimate for that to get the roof repaired, but we went ahead and filled it back up so we could drain the south tank because we didn't want more than one tank offline. And as he said, Division C, Franks Drive, the mainline crew has started installation of the water main, and they've also begun boring. Well, the borings in Franks, we have to do some borings in Franks. That's going to start this week also. Hillcrest, they've have some surface restoration with asphalt, was scheduled to begin yesterday, but obviously it rained and it's still probably a little wet today, so they're finishing up their milling, and then hopefully tomorrow they should start paving and be finished by Friday in Hillcrest. Sunrise Drive, they've finished with the main. They have to still do all the service reconnections. They've started them and they continue. They've still got quite a few to go, and there'll also be another boring from Sunrise across the course. And we met with the inspector earlier. He met with Christian at the golf course earlier today, and they've got each other's contact information so they can stay in contact. And other than that, if you have any questions,
Yeah, I'll just remark that the surface restoration work is underway. It's been probably a major inconvenience for, the residents in these neighborhoods where there's a lot of underground utility work, which is going to be the most noticeable, I think, by the community, because it's excavating in the roads and then repairing the surface, once the mains and then the laterals or service lines are put in. That's going to be the most noticeable impact to the community, and they're going to really not notice the work that's happening at the plant or in the water towers, because you're only taking one of them down at a time, I believe, when you're doing the tower restoration. So anyway, we'll continue to track that, and after this week, we'll have 2 neighborhoods done with surface restoration. It'll be Hillcrest and the East Street neighborhoods. And then there'll be 3 more on the hilltop that they're continuing to work. We did change procedures a little bit. Brian, you want to describe about the procedures that I think will help?
Right, they were filling it with
Yeah.
stone, and now they're filling it with flowable fill, which is concrete more or less, to help cut down on the degradation of the road in the areas. And you can see it helps with the dust and everything else. The rain helped a lot too.
Yeah.
But they've started using flowable fill instead of stone and backfill.
Yeah, and then they're filling as they go versus doing the whole project and coming back. So we're trying to,
Yeah, we
get
were just
the timing a little more closer to excavation to restoration, and then, temporarily fill it with the concrete. And then when that neighborhood's done, come back in with asphalt we're experimenting with that now. I think that'll work out a lot better.
Right, and Rob and I were just at Frank's Drive, and they have got a lot more flowable fill in through
They do.
those trenches. So they still have some stone where they're working, and they've got steel plates over things, but it's a construction site. It looks like a mess right now if you go
Yeah.
up there where they're working, but
Well, we've got a lot of construction happening across the community, and on Frank's Drive, we're also doing intersection work and site preparation for the new Culver's Restaurant, and Sunrise Crossing's underway, and we'll be putting in a new stoplight up there at Sunrise Crossing in Crestwood soon. So appreciate everybody's patience with all the construction that's happening across the community. But in really a matter of a few months, we're going to see a big difference in lots of areas of our town.
okay, yeah. We
Any
need to-
questions for Brian? What's that? But
Well, we need to approve
yeah,
those,
I was
right?
going to ask them if anybody had any more questions
I
for you.
just had a
I
comment.
s-
Driving through Sunrise this morning, a lot of that washed out yesterday. Are they going to come back and refill that? Like, there's a lot of big holes.
Yeah, we just drove through there, and, yeah, he's got some notes.
Okay, thank you.
Can you discuss the situation with the storage tank roof that you were talking about earlier? Is that something,
That we're gonna have to repair, yes,
With-
and we do not have a quote yet. That's what I was saying, yeah, I don't have until we get, Rob's got a secondary engineer coming in and take a look at it, try to give us a better idea before we get an actual price. But initially, they were thinking a couple $100,000, but I don't know yet. I can't tell you what I don't know yet. And until we get an actual quote from the contractor doing the work and he verifies with his engineers, then we'll have a hard number. And we do have contingency money set aside for that. That would use a big chunk of it. But, cause like I said, we got 3 divisions going on, and so, and we'll probably have another change order here, cause we ran into rock at Sunrise, that subdivision, and there'll be a change order which costs extra also, but, and I'll have those numbers when we get it, but maybe at that time, hopefully by the July 3rd meeting, we'll have some numbers for the roof and the cost of that, but, I don't know that. It does need repaired. We were in there, Rob and I actually went in the tank, and it does need repaired. But
The main purpose behind the water improvement project is just that. It's to improve service, improve the mains, improve the treatment plant, and specifically, repair degradation of the steel in our water towers and tanks. And then we'll get on a regular schedule. Those have not been really maintained very, very well over the course of the last 15 or 20 years, and this is going to correct that. That particular million-gallon storage tank had a lot more degradation in it than we initially scoped it for, so it's going to have to be repaired, and it's going to be a sizable change order. Any other questions for Brian? If not, I'll move that we approve the 3 SRF disbursement requests.
There's
24
4.
Or 4, excuse me, 24 through 27.
Second the mayor's motion.
Any discussion, comments, or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Brian?
We have a resolution that was put on, or maybe is not on the agenda. It's resolution number 34B-2023. It is a resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, establishing a delivery-only parking space on Main Street east of Madison Iron Works. And it's whereas the City of Madison, there's been a request by Madison Iron Works that the first parking space east of its building located at 1108 West Main Street, Madison, Indiana, be established as delivery-only parking space on Mondays through Fridays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, that the first parking space located east of Madison Iron Works at 1108 West Main Street, Madison, Indiana, is hereby established as delivery-only parking space on Mondays through Fridays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., that the City of Madison Street Department is hereby authorized to erect such signs and control other traffic control devices may be necessary to implement the intent of this resolution, and this resolution shall become immediately effective upon its adoption by the Board of Public Works and Safety. Signature of the mayor, enrollment in the book of resolutions, publications and notices required by law, and posting of all other appropriate signs. I think Chief Wallace may have information on this.
Morning, Board. Yeah,
Good morning, Chief.
Good morning. I brought this to the board's attention, I think, several weeks ago. My apologies for letting it kind of slide through the cracks for about a month, but I know it's much needed by Madison Iron Works. Quite often during the day, they'll have deliveries and trucks that they need to get in front of their business to load or unload, and for somebody is parked in this particular spot, it creates a big issue for them. I know they've had to call the city police in the past to assist with traffic and those type of things. It doesn't really affect anybody other than the church to the east of it, and I've spoken with the pastor there and his wife, and they have no issues with this being marked as such during that period of time. It shouldn't interfere with their church services or anything of that nature. It's just a Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and it'll help Mr. Helton out with his business.
Of course, it's pretty standard to have no parking during these times in front of the businesses.
Sure.
In the other sections of town, you see the signs.
Yeah, he's got a parking lot that you can pull in, but it's not,
Yeah.
it's not large enough for a semi or a large truck to load and unload. So a lot of times they'll have to park parallel out in front of the business, and just creates a problem for them, so.
Joe, I missed it. What was that number again?
34B.
I make a motion, we approve resolution number 34B-2023.
I'll second that motion.
Any comments or questions? Chief, thank you for your due diligence on this. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I would like to thank Joey, especially his administrative assistant. She's the one who deserves all the credit, but
She got it
yeah, she
put
got it.
together quickly today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, moving on to PACE extensions and finals.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have 3 extensions for you. The first is Dana Lemon has filed an extension for 821 Walnut Street for a period of 12 months. Her new deadline would be May 10th, 2024. She received a dilapidated structures grant on this property, and it has started work, but has not received any disbursements yet.
So, trouble finding contractors?
I'm not sure what the issue was.
There was a letter on the back of this
Yeah.
request, and I was going to ask a question about it, and that is, so we've not made any disbursement. Describe maybe the process then, I mean, because in order to receive the grant, don't they have to start within 90 days?
Yes, and she's fulfilled all of her requirements. You just have to complete within 12 months, or with the additional 12-month extension, 24 months. She did start the work. They completed all the demo. She probably could get a midpoint grant, but she wants just one disbursement, which is pretty typical.
I'll be honest with you, I have a little hesitation of going out an entire year and not having any trigger for any interim progress over the course of a whole year, so we'll kind of just be sitting and waiting and hoping that more work will continue. There was some demolition done on this property, wasn't there?
Yes.
On the rear?
Yes.
Would it be better to have a shorter extension rather than taking them all the way to the max and then, not knowing if any work's gonna be done until May of 2024?
Yeah, that's completely up to you. My other recommendation would be just to set a 3-month, 6-month inspection point and give her the year extension, but then she'd have to meet those inspection points in order for the extension to continue.
I'd rather do a shorter extension to see some progress prior to a year from now. And that's not saying that they won't make progress. It's just that we have no triggers for seeing progress until this PACE grant expires. I don't know how how the rest of the board
Yeah,
members
I mean,
feel about it.
I guess my recommendation
Yeah.
would be to do a shorter extension period, because you can now, I guess remind me, Nicole, how many extensions can you have?
As long as it's within
year.
that
Okay.
12-month, additional 12 months, they can ask as many
Yeah,
times.
I think I would probably do a shorter extension if that's what your concern is, because I don't know that there is any, I don't know that there's anything that specifically says you can have checkpoints, within the ordinance or within our rules.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the extension does the same thing, but it's certainly within the rules.
So we can amend this upon exception, or
So we could do like 6 months and then have a review in 6 months to see if there's been any progress before we grant the final 6 months. Yeah.
okay.
Dave, what do you think?
Well, I agree. Looking at the letter, they have done, it does sound like they've done quite a bit of demolition work, with the basement's been cleared, interior walls and ceilings have been torn out. The studs are ready for repair, so, I'm okay with the shorter extension, so.
I'd like to move that we amend or approve 6-month extension for this PACE grant.
I'll second the mayor's motion.
Any comments or questions? Discussion? Yes, 821. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay.
The next extension is, the Ohio Theater, has requested an extension for, 103 East Main Street for the period of 3 months and 22 days. That would make their new deadline September 1st, 2023. And you can see, they're working on those upper story windows. The masonry has already been completed, but they just need about a month to install the windows and then get all the paperwork together.
Okay. Wait, you guys okay if we do these last two in a batch?
Yep.
Okay.
The final extension is for Jim Pruitt, 702 West Main Street, is requesting 90 days. That would make his new deadline August 16th, 2023. He is also almost completed, just waiting on some minor things and documentation.
Yeah. And I'd like to make just a distinction between these two extension requests and 821 Walnut. They're shorter, the requests are shorter, but the exterior improvements that's happened on those other two properties are pretty far along relative as compared to the Walnut Street one, and that's really what I'm looking for. Is that's what the PACE program is for, right? It's to enhance the environment as well as stabilize the property. And so, as you were talking with the applicant for Dana Lemon, you might mention that what we'd like to see is exterior work completed sooner than later, rather than waiting until perhaps May to see where we're at.
Happy to say that.
Yep. Okay. Then I'll move that we approve the extension request for 103 East Main and 702 West Main. Those properties look great.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Several finals for you. The first is 513 West Street. Riverside Group LLC worked on this property. They received a rehabilitation grant. Work included tuck pointing, painting, some windows work. They've completed all their work according to the PACE grant and asking for the full disbursement of $7,500. I'm assuming you want to batch
Yep,
these.
let's keep going. Yep. Wow.
The next is the other half of this duplex, 515 West Street, also Riverside Group LLC. Again, similar work, tuck pointing, repair of windows, some other odd and masonry work, flashing, that kind of thing. Again, a full disbursement of $7,500. Third one on West Street, 517 West Street, Riverside Group LLC received a dilapidated structures grant on this particular property. They did quite a bit of work from the outside, and some structural work on the inside. That was all done according to their PACE grant, and are asking for the full disbursement of $18,212.50. And the last PACE grant is Dave Patterson at 107 East Fifth Street. Completed a rehabilitation grant on this building, but really did a full restoration of the building, and has already received half of his funds, so he's asking for the release of the final half, which is $3,750.
Nicole, thank you for the good before pictures, because we're really seeing the transformation of these properties, and the impact, the investment by the city through its PACE program, but the private investment that is changing our landscape. And we're going to complement those by all new paving on West Street. When we do our summer paving project, West Street's going to get a full makeover from literally Main Street all the way to top of Michigan Hill up to Clifty Drive. So that's going to look beautiful, and the restoration work here is fantastic. So I don't have any other comments than to say thank you to all of those investors who are really turning around blocks that needed it.
I'll make a motion, we approve the PACE finals at 513 West, 515 West, 517 West, and 107 East Fifth Street.
I'll second that motion.
Any additional discussion, comments, or questions? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Nicole, thank you.
Thank you.
And moving on the agenda, not a whole lot on the mayor's comments. We have a ribbon cutting tonight for the Oak Hill Park. And then we'll have the dedication of the new Mulberry Street Arts Plaza parking lot Friday night. So it's going to be a good week to cut the ribbon on a few things, major investments being made. Like to wish our police chief, I should say America's Chief John I. Wallace, happy birthday today. You look fantastic for 90. I don't know how you do it. There's a fountain of youth apparently down there at MPD that you're indulging in. Thank you, Chief, for all you do for Madison, and happy birthday. And then on a different note, our condolences for the passing of Mayor Huntington, and sending the condolences to his family. Mayor Huntington had made some major contributions to our community, longest serving mayor in Madison's history, and it was unfortunate to hear of his passing over the weekend. Board, do you have anything to add before we move on to public comments?
Do we have an
Yep.
update on the Hanging Rock Hill project, where it's at, when it might open, anything like that?
I'll give you what I know, and that is it will be open for the 10K race. 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, for the Madison Area Run Club is hosting the 10K as part of the week-long regatta festival. It will be open for the course. They're actually making quite a bit of progress on the hill itself, but with the slide repair, I believe they have tentatively indicated that hill could be closed all the way through the end of October, but I think they're on a faster schedule than that, but I'll have to get that date for you.
So when's
for some indication.
the paving for Michigan Road, when is that going to?
We just have gone through the grant process, scoping it, and we're in the bidding process now. I don't believe we have awarded the bid for the various streets that we're doing in that community crossing grant. So we did just sign our grant agreement, within the course of the last week or two. But that work will probably start, I want to say, September-ish, probably around,
So we're gonna have two
September.
hills?
Well, we're not paving Michigan Hill.
Oh, okay.
So what I meant was at the base of Michigan Hill up to Main Street, that's a complete mill and
Okay.
pave. And then beginning up around Autumnwood, I believe, I take it back, it might be Green Road up toward Clifty Drive. we're doing a, kind of that top shell product, so we're doing a restoration and extender and new striping. But Michigan Hill won't be paved and closed.
Cause there's a lot of traffic in that area right now, I'm just thinking.
A lot of traffic.
Yeah, the confusion.
Yep.
Okay,
But we won't have a situation where we have an overlap like that.
good.
The Ferry Street work is completed. It's, so Ferry Street's open. That was an NDOT project. And, we're still working with NDOT on there's 3 or 4 Clifty Drive projects that's involved in conjunction with work we're doing, work they're doing, Sunrise Crossing, intersection improvements. So a lot of road work happening too this summer.
They've got a linear drive project, I think, too.
Do they?
Yeah.
Is it the intersection up there at Clifty and Linear?
No, it's,
Mindy would know if she was
there
here.
by Wells Drive, I believe. It's,
Oh, okay.
We had to relocate some lines, I believe.
Okay.
So-
Gotcha. Anything else? Open it up to public comment. Anybody here like to address the Board of Public Works and Safety? Please come up and, give your name and address and state your concern or thoughts. Hey, John.
Hi, good afternoon, Mayor and members. John DeLuca, I'm at 210 West Second. I was just looking for some update on the status of our neighbor's request to put in a stop sign at the corner of Central and Second Street. I've been out of town for the last couple of weeks. I don't know where it stands. So,
I don't have an update. I know that went to Traffic Committee and, but it hasn't, materialized into any plan of action yet that the Board of Public Works has seen.
My understanding, it would go from when we submitted it to the Traffic Committee, that would come here. And so I guess it hasn't reached.
It would eventually come here in order to, pass an ordinance to establish stop signs.
Okay.
But between Traffic Committee and getting to Board of Public Works, there's a lot of work that really needs to be done in order to, make a recommendation to Board of Public
A
Works.
lot of times
Yeah.
what happens when there's a stop sign request, it'll go to the traffic committee, and the traffic committee will request that the police do a traffic study
Yeah.
of sorts. And I don't know if that's been even done yet or not.
Well,
I was at that meeting, and there was a lot of discussion about speed limits, stop signs all over the town. And it hasn't moved into that next phase, which is collecting the information to actually support putting a stop sign there and then bringing it to, Board of Public Works. So it's still one of those under discussion items. Of course, it also has to be, incorporated in with the workflow of the other things that we're working on, so it doesn't happen right away. So it's still being reviewed.
thank you very much.
You're welcome, John. Take care. Anybody else here like to address the Board of Public Works and Safety? Our next meeting will be Monday, July the 3rd. We have quite a few festivals happening in town already. And of course, we're gearing up now for the Regatta Festival and all the prep work to get the city ready for that in conjunction with all the work that the festival organizers are working on to make sure that that's a fun week. But that's, believe it or not, Regatta Week is only a week away. It is going to be here soon. If there is no other business, we'll have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Thanks, guys.